8:45 right now. As we approach the end of the year, many people are starting to think about resolutions for 2018, and one that always pops up here every year, sticking to a budget and being better with your money, or at least keeping track of your finances. So here to help us set an attainable financial resolution for the new year, financial expert Nick Foulks from Great Waters Financial. Nick, good to have you.
Great to be here.
Happy New Year, almost. We're looking ahead,
there.
right? We're looking ahead, and you say there are 5 things that we should be doing. A lot of people want to try to get their finances in order. They want to save more money. They want to do all that stuff. Let's start simple. Start with the basics. That's your number one thing. What do you mean by that?
So when you're starting with the basics, the reality is this: you have to create first a foundation, right? So one of the simplest ways to do that is starting with a budget.
Okay.
Now, if you've never had one, this is a great time to get started. As you get into the new year, start to see, okay, how am I spending my money? Where's my money actually trending? And then you start to map out that budget. Or maybe you've already had a budget in the past. Well, one of the great things you can do is review it, because life changes, right?
Sure.
I know, for example, my wife and I, we just had our 4th child. We have a 3-month-old. Yep. So I have to calculate the changes in the budget for that. So I have to think, okay, now I've got a whole diaper round again, or if you're bottle feeding, you got to work that into the budget as well. So it's a great time as the year starts to either create your budget or just start reevaluating, what are you actually spending money on? Did you change jobs? You're driving further? You're spending more on gas? Things like that.
Like you said, if you've never created a budget, it's hard to know where you could save if you don't really know how much you're spending or where it's going.
Exactly.
Number 2, you say fund the retirement account. We hear this time and time again, but so many people still don't do it.
Yeah, age-old adage, save early, save often, right? But sometimes when retirement is so far out there, it can be really difficult for us to go, okay, I'm going to focus in on spending money towards the future. It doesn't seem like a top priority,
Right.
but the reality is the power of compounding interest on our accounts, that's huge for us. So here's basic things. If
Okay.
you have a 401k with work, at least contribute to the amount that your company is willing to match. That's free money that you're walking away from otherwise if you don't. So fund your retirement to the best of your ability, learn how to live off a little bit less than what you're making, and then maybe consider funding other areas like an IRA or a Roth IRA as well for yourself or for your spouse.
Do things change? Like, will anything change with 401ks in the new year? Does anything change when New Year's roll through?
Yeah, so your contributions start over. So if you're under the age of 50, you have a max contribution of $18,000 that you can be contributing to your 401k. And if you're over the age of 50, they have what's called your catch-up, so you can contribute up to $24,000.
Okay.
So that clock kind of starts over. Remember, that helps you in your taxes for reducing your taxable income as you contribute to those things.
Third on the financial resolution list, insure your insurance. Now, I will say, I don't know what this is. What am I supposed to do with my insurance? I thought I was being good with having insurance. What do I need to do here?
Insurance kind of becomes a set it and forget it tool, right? Like, I bought insurance that one time, and now I'm good. But you always want to make sure that your insurance is enough for your current lifestyle. So, for example, let's say that something was to happen to you. If you're the primary breadwinner in the family, is your family going to be okay? Are they going to be able to pay off any debt that you've accrued over time with life insurance policies? Or what if you don't pass away or you don't die, but maybe you get hurt? Do you have things like short-term disability or long-term disability to help supplement your income if something happens to you? And then as we get older and time progresses, we have to think, well, what happens if I go into a long-term care facility? Do I have the type of insurance that may be necessary to meet those costs? Because it gets pretty expensive.
Yeah, it does, quickly. Number 4, pay attention to taxes throughout the year. And let's be honest, people don't want to talk about taxes until they absolutely have to, but we need to pay attention to it.
Yeah, all of a sudden April rolls around,
Yeah, I know.
It's crunch time, everybody's getting a little bit anxious, and then it doesn't have to be that way. We can actually be implementing strategies now to help ourselves get organized for tax planning, because the more organized we are right now, the better we're going to be able to handle that. So we can implement tax strategies that will reduce our taxes now, but also reduce our taxes when our tax bill rolls around. So things like I said, contributing to your 401k, or are there different tools that you could be utilizing for investments and planning overall?
And kind of going along with that, your number 5 is educate yourself. Know what you're doing, at least get an overview of how this all works.
Yeah, let's be honest, success in any field, whatever it may be, really starts with having an education or understanding of that field. So if you don't have a basic understanding of financial terms or different types of investments, it can be a kind of a hard row to hoe if you don't really get the basics down. So here's what you can do. Take online classes, or maybe pick up a book, or even check out some classes that are offered at your local college. I know that we at Great Waters, we work with the Financial Educators Network, and so we provide adult education in the area of finance at local colleges. You can check that out on our website, greatwaters.com.
All right, Nick, great stuff. You've inspired me for 2018.
That's what I love to hear.
I'll listen about my insurance. That's what I've learned. All right, thank you so much. For more information, you can check out greatwatersfinancial.com. All right, Mr. Keith Marlar, save, save, save. We got to save. We got to stop spending so much money.
Well, it's easy to do now that Christmas is done, isn't it?
You've spent it all.